By the time that this is done, like people are gonna have this. That's what I was thinking when you were saying like, oh yeah, people are taking advantage of. Welcome to another episode of the Soju Bomb Podcast. My name is Anthony Orke, and I am joined today with my two fellow senpais. I have Kim from Senpai Squad. Kim, how are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm pretty good.
Nice. And of course, I've got the Prince of the Philippines, Marvin Squarenoodles himself.
Still a prince.
Still a prince. Right. Yeah, I mean,
love it. Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
We're hanging in there. All right, gentlemen. Well, it's day, I don't know, fucking 90 something of quarantine right now. The three of us are trying to creatively figure out how to be able to successfully work at home right now. So my question to you, gentlemen, is what are each of you guys doing to kind of balance that? Because, you know, with for myself, for instance, right? Like, traditionally, again, if we weren't in quarantine right now, I would be spending like every day and night right now, like planning out this freaking 17 city tour that me and Gutex were supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So I'd be busy as shit right now. Right. And on top of that, actually, if I look at the date properly, this is the week of the NFL draft. So the draft was supposed to be here. I remember when I told you guys that? Yeah, dude, we were supposed to host this crazy activation at the Sahara right now. So I'd probably be missing sleep at this point. I'd be up for the next like 6 days straight. So
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Is it affecting you in a sense that you feel like you're in a quarantine, so you have it feels like you have so much time in the world, and they just like end up not doing it because it can be done tomorrow because it's like, what are we gonna do anyway, right?
Honestly,
no repercussions.
Honestly, yeah. And okay, I would say there's a balance, right? Because you know, my back is still messed up, so similar to the last couple episodes.
I'm so sorry, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Still sorry.
But yeah, like the last couple episodes, you know, I was saying that my sleep schedule is all over the place, and it's primarily due to that. You know, the fact that we're in quarantine kind of gives me some buffer space to be able to sleep like this erratically. But you know, it's not that I want to. You know what I mean? But
no, I feel you.
Yeah, it's just the freaking meds for myself. But yeah, so gentlemen, sorry, I don't mean to tangent off, but yeah, how are you guys finding a balance between work and trying to stay sane? Like, what are you guys doing to stay sane from cabin fever?
For me, I felt like I was just repeating the same cycle of just working, eating, going to sleep, working, eating, and going to sleep. But then I started kind of being a little like lost. Kind of like looking at my screen and kind of losing that sense of like a schedule. So just recently, like within the past couple of days, I ended up watching my old content, the stuff I used to do as enjoyment years ago.
Nice.
I would watch podcasts like offline TV to kind of stimulate my creativity or my want to do something else or try something new.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Whoa. Like what? What have which videos have you been digging up, Kim?
For the most part, I watched I binge watch offline TV's podcast, so they were doing a lot of like cool challenges.
Shout out to offline TV.
Nutty stuff. So they did so many stuff that I wanted to do back then, but didn't have the resources to do.
Sure.
So it's giving me ideas like, hey, maybe after this quarantine, I should start, coming up with a plan to kind of do these challenges and film them and put them on YouTube.
Streamhouse.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, that would be dope.
And then I also started watching my old YouTube videos where I used to play Call of Duty back then. The only reason is because I've heard of this new game like Valorant. And I knew people were playing Apex and stuff like that, and I haven't played games for about 8 years.
Damn,
and I was kind of that's been a while.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try and get back into it, but I was so deterred by so many things. Like everyone's ahead of me. I have motion sickness and I have so much stuff to do. So I was kind of just pushing it back. Right?
Are you really competitive?
if it's a game I like, yes.
Nice. What kind of games are you into?
So I like strategy games, FPS games, but yeah. So I wanted to try and get myself out of that mindset, and I ended up watching my old videos to kind of remind me where I started, and I shouldn't, and for the fact that I shouldn't be afraid of my position, because I started playing games being set back, and I ended up being like one of the best players. So if I could do that, then why am I so afraid to start now?
But isn't that crazy, right? Because it's like Senpai Squad as a business has kind of taken over your priorities, right? And because it's like, do you feel like, because I had the same problem, and I just probably want to ask, since we're getting to this topic, how you used to game, right? Like, do you feel like there's do you miss the days where you can just game and like not worry so much about your business?
I miss it so much. I remember I quit gaming for about a year. And then I downloaded a game just to kind of like try and get back into it. I couldn't get into it. Like when I would play for about 20 minutes, my mind would be like, yo, you're slacking, you're not doing work, you're not doing this. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just log off now. So having so much responsibility sucks, because you're not able to enjoy the stuff you really enjoy. You know? But now that I'm in quarantine, I'm like, okay, like my life has been all about work. Let me try and find a balance. That way I'm not gonna go crazy.
How about you, Marvin?
It's no, seriously, I'm going nuts. What I said earlier, I'm just like staring at my screen for hours and not being able to accomplish anything. It's like really like it's putting a toll, or it's taking its toll, right? Because I haven't been able to find a balance in terms of my photography and just generally myself, because photography, it's a sanctuary, you know, for me, kind of thing. It's I find a lot of happiness from it, because half of it is a lot of interacting with people, but half of it is, if I don't feel like interacting with people, I can just go home and edit, right? And lately it's just everything edit. It's all edit. So it's taking
like imbalanced.
me back. It's taking me back to the days where I'm just working all the time. And like those are like stressful days. And some work that I had before were like, you know, you can get to the motions, right? But photography you can't. Like, or editing, you can't. You always have to be like paying attention to what you're editing. Otherwise the photo's gonna come out like shit. So it's gotten to that point where I would sit down, try to edit, and then I wouldn't be able to produce quality ones, because my mind has been so burnt. And so I need something to balance that, and it's very unavailable to me right now because of quarantine. Like, I can't really go out. Like, I can shoot myself and do photos, like self-portraits, but it's not the same as communicating with someone else and be able to create with someone else. And that's what's lacking right now. And it's really painful in the sense that I can usually I'll be able to edit 2 to 3 sets a day. Right now I'm just averaging half a set a day, and it really sucks. And it's like, I wish there's something I can do about it, but you know, I'd rather be safe than not.
So what's okay, so then, well, I have 2 questions for you then. So pre-coronavirus, or like if all things were normal, what do you normally do to kind of balance your workflow / like, you know, recreational time? And then you know, and then since we are here, like, what's keeping both of you guys motivated right now? Like, what's inspiring you so far, like, to keep going?
Before the coronavirus, I had like a really nice routine. Usually I would wake up whenever I want, and which is a great thing about having my own schedule.
Yeah.
And then the moment I wake up, it's really a lot of time to myself, like prepping breakfast, whenever going working out, and then having a nice lunch. Then right as soon as afternoon hits, it's either I'm doing fulfillment or I'm shooting, right? Then I get back at night, and then usually at night at 7:00, that's when my creativity starts going. Then I would edit, right?
Okay.
So then I would sleep at 12, and that would be like my cycle.
Sure.
That would be my routine. I lost a little bit of that, but then there was that standard of a routine.
Sure.
So I always know how to kind of ease my way back into it. But now it's like, it's weird because I'm mostly home, and it's usually, instead of me working in terms of taking photos, it's really just come to just editing, and it's the balance just disappears, and there's really zero motivation. That's why I asked you earlier if you wanted to I asked you if what did I ask
what
you?
we're going to talk about today?
If your days, or rather, since there's quarantine, right? I feel like I have so much time in the world. I can always just say, oh yeah, I'll edit that one.
Push it off, yeah.
Yeah, I'll edit that one. Like, there's no need to get up and work because I have all the time in the world, right?
Yeah.
Which I really don't have all the time in the world. Like, I have a lot of sets still that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And it's being in this quarantine is really giving me that illusion that I have all the time in the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes it tough.
No, I feel that's the like what I'm trying to not get into. The way I try and keep it going is thinking about, this is the time for me to be ahead.
Exactly.
Right? So that way, when we get out of quarantine, it's like I can start focusing on other aspects. Whereas, that's the way I try and look at it to keep myself going.
Makes sense. That's a good way to approach it, actually.
No, it's very, it's usually it's a really good idea to be productive right now, because it's true, Kim. It's like by the time we're done with this quarantine, you're just ready to go again.
Ready to go, yeah.
Like you've been building.
Sure.
But I'm not sure whether you feel that way too, because you said you've been like sleeping a lot as well.
Yeah. Well, it's
how are you taking? Yeah, how are you handling this quarantine?
So the thing, I don't know if I mentioned it in the past episode, but I've been in quarantine a month before everyone else. You know, being injured, so I was already home. You know what I mean? And so I already dealt with like the depression and the sadness of not being able to do shit. You know what I mean? Like, so that
I feel you.
So what I'm saying is, like, you know, kind of watching you guys like deal with it, I was like, oh, I dealt with that a month ago. Because it's like, and you know, I guess to answer your question, it's a combination of both of your guys' philosophies, which is Kim's, which is doing what I can to get ahead, and then Marvin's, which is like very focused and very like productivity based. So for me personally, I've just been listening to hella podcasts. I've been doing a shit ton of research. Just like Kim, I've been watching hella fucking offline TV shit, like ridiculous. It's to the point. Yeah, I've rewatched some episodes, and it's to the point where like I'm legit, like I've been taking notes, and not just on that too. Like whenever I'm on, like whenever I listen to other podcasts too. I actually have like it's a thing of mine. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Hang on. I have a dog. I have a fucking notebook. I take notes in. Like it's a 400-page notebook.
That's a thick boy.
Yeah, dog. Well, I love it because it's graph paper. They don't make these no more, dude. Like they legit don't make these. So this is my last one, and I always thought to myself, the time that I crack that baby open is when like I'm really gonna make some changes. So,
hey, that's dope.
Yeah. So
when do you think this is all gonna be done? Because I'm like looking at the the statistics, and it seems like we're peaking soon, right?
Yeah, well, it's really tough to say. And again, first and foremost, we're not medical experts, so don't take our word for the gospel. Yeah. But it's honestly tough right now because I feel like the country's divided. Like there's certain areas that are hit harder than most, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, like it's tough because you think to yourself, all right, with the president making a speech like, okay, I guess we should try to reopen the economy because one, we can't fucking afford it. You know, as much as the guy talks mad shit, like it's true. Like the fact that we're able to afford this stuff now is scary. And you know, when we were talking about the economic side effects of the economy shutting down for just a few weeks, it's like, it's going to affect people in the long term.
Drastically,
you know?
yeah.
Oh yeah. There's millions and millions of people already who submitted their unemployment.
Yeah. Oh,
and
dude.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
So the other side to that is that our president is saying one thing. The other is a lot of health professionals.
Yeah.
That is very much against opening the economy.
Yeah, I'm against opening the economy personally. Yeah. Where do you guys stand on it?
It's difficult, because I mean, for me, I think if we can is to close as much things as possible to quickly prevent everything else from spreading, and then that way we can quickly open up and recover from this. However, I'm trying to think of it from other people's perspective. They just physically can't stay at home because if they are, they're not going to be able to afford this and that. So I see why they would want to open sooner because they physically can't afford staying at home.
Sure.
So it's like I'm on the other side where I can afford to be home, but I get it from the other side too.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. The way I am, it's like if it was me, right? If it was just me by myself, I would have probably been out shooting right now. I would probably be out just going to my friend who I wouldn't be completely sure that they're healthy, but at least I can be smart about it, right?
Sure.
I'm just like, I can ask them certain questions like, hey, you know, how long have you been quarantined? What have you done? Can you confirm that you're not sick? This and that. And then I would go and then shoot with them since my sessions is very one-on-one basis. So there's not a lot of risk for me. And me going to groceries, to the supermarket is actually a lot more dangerous than me going to my friend's house.
Yeah.
And
true.
So, but the other side of me is that I live with my mom and my grandma, who are very susceptible to the
virus.
To the virus. So it's like that's what's keeping me in check. It's that I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for them. Yeah, because I can get really, really selfish in terms of my business, right? But
I think we all can.
That makes sense.
I'm very happy that I'm being
like smart about it,
disciplined, smart, safe about it. Yeah.
Because in the end, it's like again, it goes back to the idea that money can be replaced, but lives can't be.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think my personal opinion on it overall, like again, it sucked that it's affecting so many people. It's affecting everybody. I'm not gonna lie, like it's literally affecting everybody
one way or the other.
And I feel like if anything that people have realized out of this situation is it's a wake up call, you know.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many different ways to break this down, and I can rant about this for days, but one, figuring out essential jobs, right? Not in the fact that, or not just in the fact that, you know, healthcare workers and your average like grocers and stuff, like, you know, we're severely undervalued even before this. But two, like people are I'm sure businesses are going to figure out, oh shit, like if we could afford to cut this off during the quarantine, like why bring them back? You know?
Right.
So I think
scary.
Big businesses overall too, like around the world are reevaluating, like, you know, they're cutting their losses right now and trying to figure out like where they can trim the fat from now on, you know? So, okay, even if the entire world decides to open its doors back up again, even if the virus were to say to leave now and the doors were to open back up for every business around the world, it'd be different. You know what I mean? Because again, similar to what Kim's doing right now, is he as a business owner, right, is doing the smart thing, which is what can I do to get ahead of this situation, right? And what they're trying to do is, again, if they're making these sacrifices right now to, let's say, pay employees or keep benefits up, right, that money's got to come from somewhere. So at some point, maybe later down the line, like if they open their doors back up and decide to go back to business, like, you know, certain departments aren't going to come back, or people are really going to be reevaluating their business structures, you know?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I never even thought about that. That's super scary, actually.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, you could be jobless for a while and your position might not even exist when this opens up. Wow.
True. Yeah. Well, I mean, not to be.
I'd say it's.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I'd say it is scary for like a good portion of people, but I also think that it gives us the chance to think about what, like the priority of our business and everything that we do with our life.
True.
So it makes me think when I start making business decisions, I'm going to start being more critical about everything I do. Like, is this really worth it? If that makes sense.
No, it does. It makes so much sense. So I want to close it out with this thought before we go on our first break, which is, you know, not the, you know, because there's so much negativity surrounded by the situation that we're all in right now. This is, everybody is faced with this challenge and it's not easy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like so many people are focused on the negativity that there's so many different doors and opportunities that have opened up or that are available to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's getting us to notice, for instance, right? Fucking streamers, or rather like internet personalities, right? How viable of a business it actually is. And to think how recession proof it is. And that's, I guess, a topic for a future conversation I'd love to have with you guys, which is, you know, how are we positioning ourselves in our own businesses to be quote unquote recession proof, right? Whether that be through content or whether that be through, you know, some type of digital strategy. So yeah, that's my thing, is that, you know, even though it's a shitty situation, there's so many opportunities right now. It's ridiculous.
It goes back. I just want to add into that because I don't want to.
No, please go ahead.
Talk bad about my mom here or anything. Oh, is Kim? Oh, what happened to Kim?
Okay,
he's back on. He's back on.
Okay, Kim's back.
Yeah, that was a kawaii ass picture, dude.
Yeah.
It was you with a llama?
Yeah.
Huh?
Your profile picture.
What was it?
It's you. It's like you, like looking like 12 years old with a llama.
Oh, the alpaca. Oh shit, I was like 12 back then. Yeah.
Oh damn. All right. Sorry, Marvin. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. Because my mom made a comment before saying, "Oh, you need to get a more steady job, right?"
Yeah, dude.
And, it turns out that photography is very much a steady job.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that I'm still able to work
right now
in this current recession / economy downfall.
Yeah, dude.
It's that it's really opens my eyes that us personalities or more of being able to work with personalities that are very much involved in the internet can really be a positive thing. And like you said, it's very recession proof. And I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, dude.
So,
and that's the thing. It should stand testament to like all the hard work that you've done. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It goes back. Hey, how about you, Kim? It's like, I know you're very much of an online kind of business too. How is this affecting your sales, rather?
I mean, in-person events are the majority of my income. I'd say like 70%, and then 30% is online. So with everything being cancelled, it has taken a lot of my income from me. Now that I'm just trying, with the 30% that I have, I'm trying to increase it by dedicating all my time to getting more sales. Yeah.
Does this make you kind of does this open your eye that you should improve on the sales aspect as well?
Oh, hell yeah. My sales have grown by 2 times from this month to the last month. Wow. So it showed that there are endless possibilities of growth with online. Yeah. So I'm thinking I should start hiring somebody to fulfill all my online orders, do the marketing. That way, even if I pay like $15 an hour or whatever, my growth is going to exceed what I'm paying them. Yeah. Because I'm like a one-man show, so I'm trying to do everything, and there's only so much I can do and how much I can make online. But having that extra help will be able to grow that.
Yeah, it's a initial investment right now, right?
Yeah. Have you, Kim? Have you sat down and actually like thought about how you want to restructure your online business? Like, for instance, have you? Because I don't know how you've operated it before. It just seems like, again, based on my impression, how I know you, like literally just seems like you fulfill online orders whenever you don't have a con. Is that kind of traditionally how it's gone? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so pretty much.
I go home and I have like hundreds of orders, and I'm just doing all-nighters packaging. And then I'm like planning for the next con, so I'm like no rest, no sleep.
Yeah. So versus now where you have... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just calling Kim crazy.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. So then because of the fact that we have so much time now, then like what aspects of your business do you feel like you want to change up? Because if you think about it, right, we all have 24 hours in a day, and what you're currently doing right now to be able to maximize and optimize your free time, I'm sure is dedicated to figuring out new ways or learning new techniques on how to market, right? And do your online sales. I
mean, to basically figure out how to not spend as much time as before. That way I can utilize my free time for bigger stuff.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, damn, that's I think that's a good stopping point real quick. So we're going to go and jump to break. But before we do, I have a question for the masses as well as the three of us, which is obviously we're all stuck inside. People are, reverting to Netflix, YouTube, Pornhub, etc. Whatever it is that you use to occupy your time, #no judgment. So my question to you before we go on break is, how are you utilizing your free time right now to get ahead? Meaning, how are you going to use all this free time and the endless abyss of the internet to your advantage? So go ahead and think about that. Leave us a comment or DM us or ask us, and because we'd love to hear what people are doing. So we'll go on our first break.
Sweet.
And we're back. We're back from break. And during the break, I cracked up my back and made sure that I'm okay. And then we started talking about
some... You gotta teach me how to do that.
I'm sorry?
You gotta teach me how to crack my own back.
Oh, it's literally just laying down on the floor. My back is cracking so easy right now.
He old. He moves his back cracks.
That's what happens when a cab hits you. But
So we should all go for a massage.
Oh my god, I'd be down. I know some good spots here in Vegas too.
Yo, take me.
Yeah, have you been to any yet?
No, I got my have I been to one
here in Vegas?
No, I haven't, because it's like literally like the time beforehand is just all travel. But it's okay. I got my massage chair and it's like been really
that must be nice.
I'm jealous.
All right, I'm gonna start a new to-do list for the three of us, which is shit to do once the three of us are gonna do.
This is over.
That we're gonna once quarantine's over.
Massage.
Yeah, steak massage.
Oh yeah, Korean barbecue.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
Soju. Get a good party going.
Yep. Oh dude, I've been thinking about that. Honestly, I've been thinking about like doing like a big fucking blowout party. Like I want it to be like hella debauchery, like just fucking like orgy type like shit. Cause dude, think about it. Let me ask you guys, like, how horny do you fucking think the world is right now? Like, honestly.
Yeah,
dude,
okay, they are.
Everyone's so horny that everyone's OnlyFans are like booming.
Bro, that's a moneymaker right there.
That's like proof, all right?
That's what I'm saying, man. So right. Anyways, debauchery aside, let's get serious here. But honestly, I do think we're onto something about throwing a massive event once the world opens up again.
Gets better. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Cool beans. So before the break, Kim had brought up a small point, and I brought it up as a question to people to just see like where their headspace was at. And during the break, me and the guys were conversing, and I was like, wait, we can elaborate like so much into this, because I don't think we've dove into it with specifics. I don't think.
Yeah.
So I opened the floor up to you gentlemen, which is, as Kim had mentioned earlier, how are you using this quarantine to get ahead? Anyone?
Marvin?
Well, I know, I know. Earlier, like I've just been really, really like self-loathing because it's getting really, really bad. But it's not all negative. It's like really, it's this entire quarantine. Something actually is coming good with it, and I didn't really expect it to go this well. But my diet and my fitness is actually on point. I've been eating clean about a week before the quarantine, and I'm actually really happy that it just continued on. And honest to God, that's like the only thing that's keeping me sane. I'm just like being able to know that I'm progressing in a very personal matter. It's like giving me a lot of sense of worth. It's like, it's probably one of the reasons why I'm not going insane right now. It's because that idea that by the time this quarantine ends, I feel like the moment my friend sees me in real life, it's gonna be different, right? I think the last time you guys saw me, right, I had a like big ass belly. Like if you guys can see, like,
oh man,
I don't have that belly anymore. So it's like,
that's good.
Which is pretty good. Yeah. So it's about a month and a half of like really clean eating. I've just pretty much really just lost a lot of that body fat, and actually that's really nice. My dad also got a Bowflex machine, and then we have a bike here for cardio. I've just been hitting that for like a good week now, and it's starting to that point where like I'm starting to sweat on my palms. So that's a good thing. It's like it's really hard to sweat on your palms if you're not fit. But it's starting to get to that point where I'm sweating profusely.
Damn, I'm sweating right now just hearing you talk about it.
Oh boy. So
maybe that's anxiety.
That's kind of like the good thing. It's like, God,
it's like working on your personal growth too, not just your career.
Yeah, and you know why I'm going like hard on this is because Anthony wants to auction me on set.
Oh,
you know it, baby.
Asian dating.
Yeah, I mean.
So I'm just like, fuck.
Well, the agreement is it's both of us. Okay, so it's not necessarily the auction per se. It's the photo shoot. It's the photo shoot he wants to do, like, because I called him out, right? And so for context, anyone that doesn't know, I think it was you tried to holler at this girl on one of the posts, I think. And then I think I had DM'd you in our group chat, and I was like, hey, can I make an auction about you? And Marvin was like, no, not yet. I have to do the photo shoot first. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. My bad. And then for some reason, like he and I just talked about it for like an hour straight, and to where he showed me like pictures of like how he used to look. And ladies, just so you know, oh my God, like this dude was sexy as fuck, dude. Like, what'd you say your body fat percentage was?
Say what?
Dude, like, I remember when you sent me the picture, I said, fuck you. I was like, dude, fuck you, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But then I was like, dude, like, what was your body fat percentage? Like, what was your routine? What were you doing, like, physically at that time?
Yeah. Body fat percentage, I'm pretty sure I got under single digit.
Damn, that's hard to do.
I was just, like, fucking ripped.
Yeah.
But at that time, I had a daytime, right? And then I would...
A daytime routine, you mean? Or a daytime...
No, a daytime work.
Oh, okay, a day job. Got it.
I had work. So a day job, not a daytime. I would have work from 10 to 4. And then by the time 10 to 4, or rather, by that time my job finishes, I would go to this boxing gym, right? Which is about 3 miles away. And then they're only open, it's free. So they go by time frame. So my time frame was 6:30 to 8, right? They would be only open for like an hour and a half. So that gives me time to go home, eat, and then walk all the way down to the boxing gym. So I would walk those 3 miles, right? And then work out, and then walk 3 miles back.
As you're sore as shit and bulging and oh my god.
So yeah, along that path, it's like there's like hills, right? So I would climb that up too. The reason why I got so fit, because I was just being dumb, is that each time or each week it got easier, I would add weights. Like I would carry, it got to a point where I was carrying 30 pounds. I was carrying 30 pounds to the gym, right? And then work out, then go back with 30 pounds on my backpack.
Oh my god.
Dude, it's like I did that for 4 months.
It's like
got
photographer.
fucking shredded.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you think you can get those results again in that amount of time? I mean, given you have a year now, yeah? Oh.
Yeah, given I have a year, I can.
Okay.
But not in 4 months.
Oh man.
Because it got to a point where I actually I quit. I ended up quitting that job, and then I started working twice, or I started going twice a day.
God damn, dude.
So like the last month, I started going twice a day. So I don't think I could get back to that physique again, because at least in that time frame, because
we got a year.
I was just crazy. Yeah. If I dedicate myself about a year, I think I can get back to it, single digit.
Oh damn.
But it's gonna be really tough.
Do we have any do we have any samples? Like I want to see dude, can we share a picture, like something, man? I want to I want to see, dude. Yeah. It's so
dude, like what
yeah, dude,
you can just use the photo that I sent you.
Oh man, okay.
Dude,
do you mind? Because I wanna. It motivates me whenever I see it. I'm like, god damn, I'd lick your abs.
It's honestly one thing. The reason why probably I'm so motivated to get back to it is because I only have that one photo of me when I was fit.
You want to get more photos taken.
So it's like if I get fit again, I could just take more photos and just be like, bragging rights for my future self.
Oh my god.
But yeah, for the most part, that's really pretty much.
Oh shit! What the fuck? Are you okay?
Oh, you good?
Are you alive?
Yeah.
Did your camera fall on top of your laptop?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Are you that hyped to be working out, bro? Holy crap!
Yeah, dude. Holy shit! My bad. Hey, sorry guys.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Are you good? Damn, dog. Yeah. Bro, you're getting me hyped, man, and I'm the one with the fucked up back right now. Like, dude, you don't understand. You're not the only one of my friends that is working out right now. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
We should all work out by the time this quarantine is over.
Okay. Let me get my surgery on my back first, and then I'm good.
We need to fix that shit first before we work out. Yeah.
We can just do chest all day, bro.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking dude. Like, okay, so my roommate downstairs, Pat, just quick tangent. My roommate, Pat, he just dug up his old bike from his dad's house, and he's been biking every day, dude. I think 2 days ago, he biked 37 fucking miles.
God damn.
I was like, oh my god.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, you don't understand, like, being stuck at home, not doing anything, just sitting down and lying down all fucking day. Yeah, you best fucking believe I want to work the fuck out, man. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. It's
Kim, you gonna get on these games with us? You gonna try to jump on this fit life?
A little bit of muscle.
Yeah, muscle. Hell yeah.
That muscle, baby.
Yeah, I need to recover from my accident too before I start working out.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time this is all done, we should all be good, right?
I'm kind of down.
So.
By the time that this is done, like, people are gonna have this. That's what I was thinking when you were saying, like, oh yeah, people are taking advantage of
I can't see what you're showing.
I think that's the one I'm gonna show.
Oh my god.
All right, so going back to the original question. So Kim, what are you doing to Or okay, let me reframe it. How are you using this quarantine to your advantage to get ahead?
Yeah, so going a bit specific, I used to fulfill all my orders in my living room. And it's not bad because I have a big space to work with, but I had my entertainment and my work mixed together. So I would really never get a lot of work done because I had so many distractions. For example, my computer in the living room has 3 screens. So I would have YouTube, another YouTube and Facebook open, and I would get easily distracted. So what I did was moved all my work related stuff into my spare room, and then left my entertainment, TV and computer outside, so that way I can separate it. That way when I'm going into my office, I'm there to work and just work only. And doing that so far has helped me so much with being productive.
That's good.
So that was the main thing that I wanted to do before anything else.
Okay, that's what's up. I mean, I would say same here. And again, shout out to our sponsors, Squarenoodles, for funding our set, because honestly, I've been doing all my work here on the set. And like,
that's good. I'm so happy you're getting use of it.
Oh, dude, like I'm trying to, with the microphone and the like everything. Yeah. I just want to get used to by the time the 3 of us are here and starting to film, like I want to be comfortable with the space,
ready to go.
Yeah. And kind of warm up the energy for you guys. Cause I'm a firm believer in that. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, when you guys came to the house for the first time, I was like, excuse the mess. Like, I honestly felt like it was a mess, and kind of right now it is, but this is the end of the world right now. So I've got like cans of Vienna sausage. I've got like my bag of rice. So, obviously these are emergency situations, but, the way that I operate, and I was taught how to operate, was to be in an environment that inspires you. That's why whenever I work, I try to have inspiring music, have podcasts.
Oh, for sure.
I have my vision board literally right here. So if shit's going downhill, like I'll just look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted in life. And it helps.
I still need to make a vision board. That's actually like a really good idea.
Can we do it, dog? Like seriously, that like I'm serious. Like I actually want to make a second one. My goal right now is to figure out how to make one for every room that I'm in the house.
Yeah.
That way.
Can we make a big one for the Soju Bomb?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Ooh,
I've got 2 cork boards right there waiting for us.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, honestly,
we should make one.
It's such, and again, this is kind of dorky self-motivation type shit, but it works for me, Like I said in previous episodes, I'm a dum-dum, so it works.
Yeah.
Sounds good. No, I just want to go back to you in terms of your workflow, right? And you doing fulfillment. Since you're into cars, you're into like obviously shipping and all that. Like, have you considered doing a warehouse or like renting out a warehouse where you can just hire employees? You can have your cars parked there. You can work on cars.
Oh God!
And it's like, how do you feel about that?
That's the dream.
So basically I had that idea as well. I think I'm just trying to cut back on expenses. That way I can kind of build up my funds to then have a warehouse without worrying about the cost.
Yeah.
Because
Gotcha.
I have a house paid off. So why not utilize what I have now to get ahead of the game? I don't want to be like, oh, I have a little bit of money. Let me go ahead and get a warehouse and employ people. Because I have something that is usable for my business, which is my house. So utilize this free resource and, get everything as I can out of it until I really feel like I've outgrown this space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then when I feel like it's not possible to work at my house anymore, then I will get a warehouse. Or since I know so many shop owners, I can just rent out an office.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that would be the alternative.
Okay, so there is a future where you are gonna own a warehouse, right?
Possibly, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, because it's no. The reason why I asked that is because there's like a couple of people that I know who has a warehouse who has actually been really, really successful with it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know whether you had that idea?
Or if that was in the cards for you later down the line.
That was a good question. People haven't really asked me about that before, but it has come across my mind. No matter how much I would like to say I have a warehouse, I think it's safer to work with what I have.
Sure.
Right now. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that would come in due time with like a full-on strategy. So for instance, so Kim, I don't know if you follow any car YouTubers at all, but
TJ Hunt.
Yeah, so we got the TJ Cunts in the world. I kind of don't like that guy, to be honest.
Yeah, controversy.
Yeah, because of his controversy, and my boy Jeff was like, he used to look up to my boy Jeff when I was helping him out, like before I started helping him out with his channel. He was like, dude, like I met TJ like before he like blew up and shit. But him, Adam LZ, that guy in blue, like a whole bunch of these guys, where they're able to justify like their warehouses because of their content. So I feel like for Kim, like, shit, Kim, you give me the fucking word, man. Like I'll go in with you, dog. Like whenever you're ready, dude. Like if we can make it a content warehouse too.
Yeah, so I do have a plan where it's not just gonna be me, but maybe a partner. Ooh. Because I'm traveling everywhere. So if we want to make content, I can't fully do it with a warehouse because 80% of the time I'm not going to be there.
Sure.
So it's going to have to be somebody that is going to be on site all the time, that manages my online portion, but also is able to create content on my behalf.
Yeah.
So somebody has to be able to do the business side, and also be like a face of the content creation if we are going to do YouTube videos.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of doing that before?
Yes, but I don't think that I am the right person to do it with the way I'm going.
So literally you're saying if you had like a content manager that just straight up ran it for you plus the additional task of the warehouse.
And then I would chime in here and there. I'll be like a special guest, like, hey, I'm Senpai Squad, thanks for blah blah blah. But like there has to be a personality where where the audience loves.
Sure.
To be able to, produce that content.
Gotcha.
But Kim, everyone loves you though.
I mean, I can't rely on just me. Oh my god! I can't be in 5 places at once. That's the only thing.
True.
For expanding, I have to.
The way it is, Kim, like I feel like if you have someone who's just dedicated, like
your body man,
putting a camera in front of your face the whole time, I feel like it would be a really, really successful YouTube.
Fuck it, I would pay him. I'd be like, yo, you never leave his side ever, ever. You eat with him, you sleep
even when
with him.
He sleeps.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Nice. No, that's good. I'm really happy that you have that under your scopes, and even if it's not, I'm pretty sure you have bigger goals in the future too.
Yeah, hell yeah. With the time that we have now, whether or not we've thought about it or not, right? Maybe this is the line in the sand where we're like, okay, what is the actual game plan? So, for instance, this goddamn notebook that I've got right here has the actual plan of what I'm going to do as soon as this shit is up. I would say it actually only has like maybe 30% of the ideas that I have.
Yeah.
But it's honestly a combination of learning, because there's a lot of shit that I've been needing to like step my game up on personally, as well as like ideas and business strats, as well as making it a priority, since I hadn't prioritized it before. But making it a priority to have like a solid content strategy. So is there anything along the lines of that you guys are thinking of? Like specifically, if let's say the world decides to open back up again, like what are you guys going to do differently than you weren't doing before? That you feel like is going to make a difference?
Yeah. Dude, mine, it's crazy. The amount
dog?
Yeah, like mine, when I said that 2020 is going to be big, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy big. Despite I didn't foresee the entire pandemic going on, or no one did, right?
No one, yeah.
But even then, like this 1 or 2 month of like kind of rest, it's not going to stop my 2020 from being big. Yeah. And like with the addition of my brother coming around, it's like that's even gonna make 2020 even bigger, in a sense that the idea that if I just have a video guy who can kind of because I'm like, again, I think we've discussed it in like a previous episode. I'm really bad with documenting my process.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of teaching James how to do that for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that, right? And then the idea that we're gonna be full on doing really, really good podcast. It's like I can't wait to get there, right? And actually like do podcasts in the original spot in our studio, right? And then next thing is that travel. It's really before this convention or this coronavirus started, I was all over the place and I really missed that. That's what kept me going. It's just the fact that I was in a different place each time.
Yeah.
That was just like it's very refreshing each time I go places, and it just motivates me to work more because I want to be other places. I actually wanted to go to New York kind of 3 to 4 weeks. We booked it on February, right? And then we didn't realize that New York was really bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say they got hit the hardest.
Terrible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we canceled that right away. There was plans on going Vegas. There was plans on going to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Down San Diego. We wanted to go to Japan even, and then Hawaii, but all of that got canceled for coronavirus. And I'm just like, by the time this whole thing opens up, it's gonna be nuts for me all over again.
Sure.
Yeah. Back on the shit.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. All of our kind of shit.
Yeah. How about you, Kim? It's like I know it's like all your events got canceled, but do you have like a lot of things lined up?
I mean, my goals are going to be the same, and then I'm going to get back to my crazy schedule. I think it's going to be a lot more refreshing and more organized, which is awesome. This is the time that I actually needed to restructure everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Care to share any like details of how you've reorganized to make it easier for you to function rather?
Yeah, so I mean, as I said back then, whenever my schedule used to be go to convention, and then all my online orders would get stacked up while I'm away. And then when I get back, I'm working 24 hours to make sure all my orders have been fulfilled. So it could be multiple days.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, I will start planning the next convention. And then by the time that's done, I'm flying off. So I don't have time to kind of do anything else. So the one thing I want to change is for me to be able to go home and not have to deal with my online fulfillment. That way I can focus on other stuff. And then that means I can grow both my online and my physical events at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to work towards.
That's good. Yeah. Do you think you're going to have a event list outside of conventions just to make up kind of the canceling of the 7-city tour?
Yeah.
Or 9?
So basically I'm in a talk with some companies right now to see if we can throw like a virtual online rave.
Nice.
It has been done by other companies already. But we're trying to round up some companies to see if it's possible to do. So stay tuned for that. It might or might not happen, but we're in the works.
Hell yeah. That's some big shit.
That's good news.
Yeah, that's really good news. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's dope. So lots of exciting plans. How about you, Anthony?
Too much.
It's like too much.
Like, okay, the reason why I say that is because I've been quarantined a month ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
I've already been thinking of ways to want to get better. So for me, obviously, I do events. So what I started working on is a doc. Did I ever show you guys the HentaiCon org structure / HentaiCon Bible?
No, you have not.
Okay, so essentially what it is, it's an Excel spreadsheet of how to put together a convention.
Oh,
like legit, it's literally like the Bible of events. And this is the system that's been used at Anime California, for HanadokiCon, for ALA. Like it's the holy grail of like blueprints for an event.
for event?
I am currently on version 3 right now of said organized type thing. I'm big on organization, as you guys could tell.
Yeah.
Like our internal drive with like our docs and everything's got folders on folders.
Too organized.
Jesus.
So I guess for somebody like me that's really big on wanting to organize or wanting to optimize how I organize things, like, that's how I'm one way I'm taking advantage of it. So I've been on version 3 of it, and I've been wanting to like update that when it comes to my esports events, as well as my own personal projects that I'm trying to do. So, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but one of my dream goals is to run. Prior to the coronavirus, my dream goal was to do 5 events a year. To be able to quit my job. So
that's crazy.
And this was before the podcast. This was before any other ideas. And again, it being before the coronavirus, I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't just solely rely on events. Maybe I should probably figure out some social strategy to that.
Other stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so to that end, I've been spending a lot of time doing research on other podcasts as well as other platforms of content creation to optimize right now, because why wait for the world to open back up? Why not do something now, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So aside from spending a crap ton of time editing and getting better at making like the podcast episodes, I've been thinking about, like, similar to Marvin, like trying to figure out ways to start up my own YouTube channel, whether that be like vlogs or talks, or like, fucking esports or gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Anthony, I feel like you're really, really good about, you'd be really, really good doing your offhand podcast because you generally have a lot of like,
advice.
Yeah. And like you do a lot of things that are very much like ideal.
Please tell, like, I don't see it. Like, tell, like, I think
like how
you
should do like educational videos, because I feel like with so much of the stuff that you've been doing behind the scenes, not many people give out the information that you've been giving out on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're able to write, like, as you said, like the documents of like how to run this and that, I think if you start doing that with other aspects of everything that you've been doing, people will love it.
Overall, just like, I feel like overall, just what's that word? The life skills. You'd be really, really good at that. And like the fact that, dude, your intros, like, you have a lot of potential doing your own podcast, and it's like that's one way for you to just get started. Like if it's just you have like I feel like you have the mics already there, you have the table set up, and you have a camera going, and I feel like there's really nothing stopping you from doing that.
Yeah, literally, there really isn't. I just feel like a lot of it's I would say the number one thing would be a confidence thing, because and okay, so one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast with you guys is the number one reason is I trust both of you guys, and that's kind of coming a lot from somebody like me who's had every reason to not trust a lot of people, and so I primarily come to you guys because you guys are kind of that third party of reason, where you can see stuff that I don't see, similar to how you guys are saying for me to do this. I'm like, I totally wouldn't have seen doing this, but the fact that we're having this episode talking about this, about what we're doing to get ahead, especially right now, like it's definitely been on my mind to do it. I just don't know specifically what format or how to do it, whether it be a podcast or whether that be like, I don't know, 10-minute YouTube videos. Still debating.
It goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can explore your options. There's so many, varieties out there that you can explore on being able to deliver your content.
True. Yeah. Well, I also too, Ryan's got me thinking about writing an ebook, actually. He got me on that back in December when we were talking about how we're talking about our 2020 goals and how we were going to essentially do things differently pre-coronavirus. So that's one of the things. I've actually been assembling some notes, like on how I would format, like, let's say if I were to write a book on events management, right, from the con scene. I don't think anyone's done it yet. So I feel like that
would be good.
Yeah, I feel like that's an unexplored opportunity, as well as like how, like, oh man. And you guys should see this before the podcast. Shout out to Richie, by the way, our senpai Richie. It's his birthday today.
Oh yeah, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Richie.
Richie.
Yeah.
So I was, obviously I wanted to make a post about him just to greet him happy birthday. And I was digging through some pictures and videos, and I was like, holy shit, like, back in the day, like, I would even say back in the day, this was like 2 years ago. I was already doing vlogging content. Like, I have a lot of footage of me talking to myself on camera, because I always thought that someday I'd probably put it out there or maybe revisit it. Or my number one reason is just it's similar to Kim when he looked up his old videos, which is I use it to energize myself, like see how far I've come. You know what I mean? And that's essentially how I thought of it. But at the time I was like, fuck, I'll just record it just to see where this goes. But now I'm actually seeing it as like a viable option as far as content. Cause I was like, fuck, I laughed at that. And if I laughed at that, maybe if I show my cousin, maybe he'll laugh at that type of thing. So to answer your question, Marvin, that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm figuring out a content strategy. I am revamping how I put together events. And I'm actually trying to plan for what we were talking about on the break, like literally the congrats, you survived the quarantine huge after party. I honestly think that's a move. If we make if we can design like a fucking legit ass party or something to do like once the world opens back up, I think that's the move. Make it like epic.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm just down to rent out a warehouse and then just
fucking
do like an entrance fee.
Hell yeah. How would you guys do it? If you guys were to throw the sickest party after quarantine, how would you do it?
This is how I'll do it. I was with this group, right? Back then. And then there's this one person.
Yeah.
And she always throws party. And then she has a big house. And then the way she does it is that, hey, my house is a venue. It's BYOB. If you want to get into this, it's open to the, friends invite only.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're a friend, right? If you're a friend, then you invite someone, that someone can invite somebody, and then that someone can invite somebody.
So like,
right?
who do you know type thing?
Right. So, so in the end, there's no random. So like everyone has kind of like a person they know, right?
Hell yeah, that's
and it's,
tight.
So they would basically have a cover charge, and it's BYOB. And so what that does is that since it's BYOB, it's more like you just bring drinks, either for yourself or to share, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously, as if I'm going to be the person throwing, I'll have more like drinks for like a lot more to share.
Yeah, sure.
And so if I'm gonna do that, I'll probably rent out like a $3,000 warehouse and then just do $10 cover charge.
Oh damn!
That way it'll cover your expense.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, I'm not gonna do it for profit, and if there's profit, it's probably just gonna go to reinvestment in like another party.
Yeah.
But I'm not the party person.
I know.
We have a party. We have a party person here.
No, I think something similar to you. Basically, just make it so that I'm not really making money, but it'll cover my expense.
Yeah.
And if they can, just bring your beer and bring your bottle.
Yeah.
Where would you guys want to do it? What's the ideal venue for you guys? I already got two in mind here in Vegas, but that's just me. Like I would do it big in Vegas.
My ideal. Sorry, Kim, go ahead.
No, the difficulty is finding somewhere central where most people are able to travel to.
Yeah.
So maybe a cheap place would be Vegas, or a more accessible place would be in SoCal.
Yeah.
The way my setup is that it doesn't matter as long as there's a good DJ. That's it. So long as there's good music bumping, everyone's gonna be enjoying.
Dang. Yeah. Who would you guys want spinning?
God.
I want Alan. I want Manaso. He's awesome. You know, deep within the community, everyone loves his stuff, and he just does it for the fun of it. So I'd love to bring him if I were to throw something.
Hell
like
yeah.
this.
Nice. Does he have an Instagram, or is there a way to follow him?
Yeah, Manaso. It should be mana.so.
Mana.so. All right, send it to me. I'll post it in.
Hey.
We'll shout him out. Maybe it'll be a real thing. Maybe we'll plant the idea.
Yeah, well, maybe we will. We'll see.
You never know. Yeah. Nice. Hell yeah.
Dude.
That's what's up. All right. We're at an hour 16.
Hold on. You said you have 2 venues. Which 2 venues are those?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to sneak away. I was like, oh man, because the thing is, and both of you guys know this about me. The more I talk about it, I'm like, fuck, I want to do it.
But shit, let's talk about it. Let's go.
Oh man, this motherfucker. So have you guys ever been to the Palms Place at all?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. I probably have.
Yeah. So what I would want to do, again, depending on like how many people we get, if I want to keep it exclusive, because I've done a couple. SojuBomb actually had their after party, the Christmas party there, and it was so fucking luxurious and lit. I was like, oh my god. And then the second thing is the Artisan. Do you guys know about the Artisan out here?
No.
You can rent out their entire venue for like $5,000.
No fucking way.
It's a hotel. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So it's essentially like a lounge / kind of like boutique hotel, which is pretty tight. And Richie had actually, so now that I'm talking about it, if this is something that's gonna go down, like you best believe Richie's fucking gonna be involved.
Wait, so you can rent their entire hotel?
Yeah.
For $5,000.
Yeah. I'll send you guys the link. There's billboards of it.
So what's stopping us from doing our own convention at that hotel?
Oh my god! Is this the one where we talk about the event that you wanted to plan out? Remember how we were talking about it earlier in the week?
Oh
yes. How about that? Why don't we go ahead and use this after our break? Let's talk about that.
Oh my god!
Because we're just. I'm so down. I want to get into the logistics of it.
Yeah, for sure. Same. And the fact that you came at me, you're like, yo guys, like, and it was hella random because you're like, yo guys, like, it only costs $60,000 to run an event. And I was like, yeah, you could have asked. It's like, oh yeah, no, Karen's telling me about it. I was like, shit.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
So let's go on our next break, and then when we come back, we'll go ahead and talk about it.
Sweet.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Okay, so during the break, we kind of started talking about some ideas on how we would put together this crazy party of when the world opens back up, and then we kind of started digging into what a conversation that Marvin had brought up with the group chat, which was
the most random ass thing.
It was I swear to God, it was the random ass thing, because I was in the middle of editing, and then all of a sudden it pops up, hey, did you guys know it cost $60,000 to put on a con? I was like, bitch, yeah, dog. Like I put together like 5 of them.
Too.
Yeah.
And then Kim was like, I didn't know that either.
Because it's like, when you're going like doing cons, right? You would think it's like it would be like 100,000 plus, because it's you're dealing with hotels, you're dealing with liabilities, all sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I heard that figure, it's only like $60,000. I'm saying only, right? Because it's
there's obviously variations, and there's different. Yeah,
but I'm saying I want to say it's that only. It's not only, right? That's still a lot of money to some people.
Of course,
but it's a lot less than I had imagined.
Expected.
Like us, like it's very doable. It's like $60,000. That's easy savings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, the thing is like even like hosting an event, you're gonna have so many people that are involved and partners, and even though you might not have the 60,000, if you have a good business proposal plan, you'll be able to come up with those funds if you're able to prove that this is worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So $60,000, like Jesus Christ. Yeah, tell us all about this. Like the idea
I'm curious.
Like the idea that this whole entire event, like you can rent an entire venue for $5,000 a night. You said, right?
Yeah.
So
okay,
I want to hear all the logistics. Tell us.
Yeah. Well, okay. In this particular venue, because it's more of a boutique hotel. It's for anyone that doesn't know, it's the Artisan here in Las Vegas, and it's been used mainly for like party type stuff, and which is exactly kind of what we were thinking about. Which is what Marvin had said. He's like, yeah, I kind of want to come up with like a party con. I was like, well, shit, hell yeah, like, come to the right person. It's I would say $60,000 would be the cost in the traditional sense, where you just have your traditional convention space, hotel block, regular programming, some type of vendor hall, and then guests, right? That would be the typical. I would say like that's a good starting point for anyone that wants to run a con, and I can break that down into every which way with, you know, when you're talking about operations, how you're going to divvy up your staff, how you're going to pay your staff, which I should say, by the way, that 60,000 doesn't include paying out staff, because as we all know, most weeb cons are run by volunteers,
right,
and people call that the San Diego Comic-Con phenomenon, which is they figured out how to enlist a workforce without paying out. Like I think they don't, like, it's 90% of their workforce is just volunteer base. The top 10% are like people that are like on their board, and like people are on payroll. So
shitty way to do it, but
well, the thing is it's both. Yeah, Kim, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's both ways about it, because some, you know, conventions may not have the funds to pay out the staff, so they have to start somewhere on like a volunteer basis, where they can, you know, offer badges and hotel stay, and that way they can use the funds to grow the convention.
Well, most of those things that you're including, which is the hotel stay and like the badges, are already things integrated into the infrastructure of the business, that it's not that much of a cost. So for instance, if I was someone that's putting together an event, normally if let's say I guarantee the event, let's just say for instance, right, like the Alexis Park here in Vegas, right? We say we guarantee that we'll be able to sell every single room here during our 3 days. To them, it's like it's literally no, like it's not a big deal for them to throw us 10 free rooms for our staff. You know what I mean? Because we're bringing them the influx of business that weekend for our particular event. It's a drop in the bucket for them. So certain things like that is weaved into the infrastructure of the business. But I would have to say, and this is kind of like a personal thing, for somebody that got their start as a volunteer, working my way up in the convention scene, I would like to change the narrative of how events are run, which is making sure that people are valued and paid what they're worth. I'm a strong believer in fair compensation. You get paid what you're worth, I feel like. And as someone that's been the vice chair and con chair of several events, like it's heartbreaking to see, because you see so many people that put like their blood, sweat, and tears into these events, and I'm talking like legit ass like skills, like skilled people. Where, for instance, I'm not gonna bring her up by name, but I hope you guys don't mind this tangent real quick.
Yeah, of course.
That's fine. Yeah.
Our guest relations director for Anime California, HentaiCon, and YaoiCon, she was the guest relations director for all three. And the immense amount of work and organization that she put in, like, I swear to God, if I can have the chance to like take her out to dinner and be like, yo, like, I will literally pay you this much to help me like do this event, I totally freaking would, because she was badass. She sent out all the emails. She made sure all the guests were attended to at every single event. She booked their flights, their hotel rooms. She gathered and trained her staff herself. So literally for me, when it came to HentaiCon, like I didn't have to do shit. And I was like, damn, like that. Yeah, she was that good. And the thing is that entire time, I don't even think she was like fully compensated. Like, I can't say for sure. I haven't asked her personally, but based on some of the teammates that I've talked to, like after the fact, you know what I mean? Like, damn, she literally put in so much work, and that's the trouble. You know, coming from the back end of things, like you hear this about events. So personally, if I were to put on an event myself, like I want to make sure people like get paid somehow.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to Marvin's point, being able to put this together, honestly, if I were to do it, I would start it off small. So I would do it the SojuBomb way. Do you guys know how SojuBomb started?
Nope.
How?
It started off as a picnic. It was a legit picnic.
Gathering.
It was a legit picnic. They used to call it Anime Day here in Vegas, and it was an annual thing. And so the first year, people were like, "Holy crap!" Like I think like 80 people showed up to the first one, and then the second year that they did it, I think like almost 200 people showed up. And after that, everyone's like, "Okay, maybe you guys should like become a con." And then year 3 was when SojuBomb first became like a con itself. So I feel like if we were to put together an event, I would want to scale it properly. By creating like this dope ass shit. I think honestly there's a move with throwing a dope ass party. I think. Yeah.
Just like a 1-day thing instead of starting off with a 3-day event, which would, because I feel like if we're gonna do something this risky, we should, start off something a little smaller.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
No, I mean that would be ideal, right? Just starting off small, obviously.
Yeah.
And then getting that small group a name, and then hoping that it travels soon. So basically, like if Kim decides to have a freaking party convention, I'm pretty sure it'd be a hit in no time because he already has a name of like throwing parties, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So I feel like that would be like easier transition for Kim, but obviously in a sense in that maybe what I want to know is more of the logistics, right? More of the okay, so like cost wise, like 60,000 is more like the basic, and I don't know whether 60,000 is like just the minimum or what would be like a comfortable number.
I would say if you're super ambitious, you can make it happen with 60 with hella volunteers. But you really have to know what you're doing. Like if you're a one-man show, because it's possible. Anime Vegas, for instance, was ran by one dude, which is Rich. Most of his
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, most of his workforce was literally like everyone that's running like Level Up and SojuBomb and ShineCon. Like it's those cats that came from that camp. You know what I mean? But he literally did all the administrative stuff. But 60,000 breakdown, I mean, without getting into specifics, you can get an event for 3 days anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. And that would be a 2,000 person capacity convention ballroom space, plus or minus room block and food and beverage obligations. Food and beverage obligations would probably teeter anywhere from like, depending on the venue, depending on the city, and depending on like the hotel chain that you're going through, I would say anywhere from like $10,000 to $15,000 food and beverage obligation, plus or minus your guest and talent budget, as well as operations costs. And your operations costs can consist of a lot of different breakdowns. And again, it depends on how well you keep everything in house and how organized you have everything. If you manage your books properly, you can get by with spending very little. And it helps, having homies, making deals, that type of stuff. A lot of trades. There's a lot of trades in the con scene. So if, let's say for marketing purposes, you want to go out to another con to, promote your stuff, like, you do like a booth swap type situation. I'm sure Kim's familiar with this. Yeah. So that
type of services, we both benefit. Figure
exactly.
out.
So maybe this is me being a fan of you guys, since you guys deal primarily with the cons, right?
Sure.
So, and you guys are like event runners. If you guys can create a con, right? How would you guys structure it, and like what would be your kind of ideal way to successfully run a con, or successfully, what would be your
like ideal con running situation? Yeah.
I mean, for me, I really want to, if I was to run a convention, to have it basically community focused and community based. A lot of the conventions I go to are more like run by corporate, and you just don't really get that homey family vibe to it. And that's something I would love to be able to be in a position to throw.
Yeah.
And I believe that if we were able to, have that community sense and feel for it, that it's going to be successful and thrive so much.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, what would be like what would be included in the con? Like, how would you make sure that everything is entertainment value for your guests?
So I think the good way is to actually ask the guests themselves. Like, if we were to throw a convention, rank the top 5 activities that you would like to see.
Yeah.
And then maybe rank the 5 things that you don't like to see at a convention. Because there's some people that see the same things over and over again, and then they eventually stop going to, like, let's just say specific panels or parts of the convention. So I would like to kind of be more guest involved.
Yeah.
To see what to include and what not to include.
Yeah. I guess to tangent off of that, one thing, because I was actually asked this, I was interviewed once, and they'd asked me, they said, what do you feel are the most important components to a con? And I had 2 responses. My first one was, well, do I have to run a con? Because if I were to run like my own event, it wouldn't necessarily be labeled or ran like a traditional con. And they're like, how so? I says, I would focus primarily on the programming, like the activities, like the shit that people would fucking enjoy to see. So one of my favorite things was, one of the things that I heard about was Chris Sabat, the voice actor for Vegeta. One of the favorite things that he likes to do as a guest is play Rock Band with his fans. So yeah. So what he does is a con brought him out. I think it was something like over almost like a decade ago when Rock Band was more of a thing, where the con runners were like, hey, in his contract, he had autograph session, he had a panel, but in the panel they says, I don't know what traditional stuff that you've done at panels to talk about and stuff, but we want you to play Rock Band with your fans. Would you be down?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk more off camera to see like how I can implement that in my business.
Exactly.
I think that is different.
Hell yeah. Because you think panel, you think, okay, voice actor talks and then people listen type thing, and then Q&A, right? That's your traditional thing. And for me, one thing that if I were to run my own event, I would think of unique interactive programming like that no one's fucking doing. And me and Richie, the day that we have Richie, should have been today, but the day that we have Richie on as a guest.
It's his birthday.
Dude, yeah,
he's
exactly,
probably off getting drunk somewhere.
Yeah. I hope not. He should be at home. Well, I hope he's getting drunk at home. But dude, he and I plus my cousin can rant for days about like dope ideas like that. Like because of this line of thinking, that's how we thought of the VR hentai room at HentaiCon. So because that's one, it went viral that year at Anime Expo. Remember the fucking Deku in the VR thing? Yeah. It was because of that. And we're like, dude, no one is going to do that. No one. And I was like, and the way that we marketed it, because at Anime Expo, in order to get into that area, remember you had to wait in that long ass line outside of like the black curtains and shit? And the way that we marketed it was, wouldn't it be nice to be able to do this without waiting in long lines and having your ID checked? And like people were like, holy fuck, that's such a good idea. And we dedicated that as an entire room. And because of that, like Richie dedicated his entire focus during HentaiCon to man that station.
To do that.
And again, it was the funniest shit because it was the place where, your homies would egg you on or like, oh, you can't make her come. Da 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 da. And like, the most viral shit came from that room, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So Marvin, I apologize for the rant, but to answer your question, Marvin, I would think of dope shit to do like that. I would start from the very basic fundamental idea of the guest experience. What the fuck am I as a guest? If I come to my own event, what would be the thing that I would do?
Right. And that's kind of so interesting that you say that, because it's like for me, when I go to conventions, the only thing I do in conventions is literally go to exhibit panel or exhibit hall and then just look at artworks and then see my friends there and then dip out. Because this whole time, that like how I view panels is just it's just meeting your voice actors and this and that. I'm like really not interested in that. But if you can go ahead and do that and implement that good programming, that would probably be the reason why me as a con goer would check out your panel. I'm like, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Or that sounds interesting. I want to check that out.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't even label them as panels. Like, it would be a whole rebrand to everything. Like, I would want to destroy the concept of what your traditional con is and make it more experiential. You know what I mean?
No, that's dope.
Yeah, that and making a dope ass exhibit hall. Like, a lot of people don't understand the magic of that, but I feel like that was why HentaiCon was so successful. Because we marketed. Okay, first things first. These two hands you see here, these two hands got every single one of our vendors. Every single one of them. I promise you, fucking like, oh my god. Sorry, it was a struggle. Okay, how I did it was that year at Anime Expo. Me and Richie. I printed us out business cards, and it was like, actually, I think I have one in my room. We printed out business cards, and I went to every single 18 plus vendor at AX. I'm talking every single one. Me and Richie double dipped. We went back. So we doubled up. Hey, He's like, sure. yeah, I got your card already. He's like, oh, okay, cool. You've obviously met my partner, and literally like, because of the fact that we had that roster of potential vendors, we were like, all right, now we can choose. Now we can screen who the fuck we want, and we can build and tailor that experience. So not only were we able to just straight up sell the boots to people, but I also reached out to like a couple of my friends that had boots and stuff. And I was like, yo, what are you going to do there that's different? Or what are you going to do there that will make this experience like unique? But the selling point was already there, which was, the fact that people don't have to censor their shit. That was the number one selling point for a lot of these vendors at
honestly,
HentaiCon.
Here, the thing is that we're talking about HentaiCon, and I'm like,
HentaiCon,
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry that HentaiCon isn't successful this year. Or
no, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We got stuff in the works.
Anyway, one thing that was really genuinely impressed about HentaiCon is that the moment you entered, it delivered.
It's
like
really. How so? Can you elaborate? Because I haven't had the chance.
The moment I entered the or that space, right? That convention itself.
Yeah.
Literally, the first thing playing is Nude Shibari. Right? I'm just like, damn, that's classy, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a form of art, but it's 18 plus. But you go into to exhibit hall, right? And literally the first thing you see is like freaking hentai everywhere.
Yeah.
Boobs everywhere.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's like when you go to Artist Alley. Like an AX, and then everything is like so secretive, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you entered HentaiCon, everything was
just
like
back.
it's just like, dang, this is like where people can be can be whatever they want to be, like sexual wise, and like it's okay because it's that kind of con.
Yeah.
And it's like, granted, like nobody was being ratchet.
Yeah.
And it was great. It's like like it goes to show that even though it's like it's HentaiCon, has to deal a lot with sexuality.
Yeah.
Like everyone was,
respectful.
polite. Respectful. Dude, and like it goes to show that people who love Sentai aren't freaking wild and crazy in public. People can hold their own. And that was the good thing about HentaiCon, is that you are able to experience that side of your personality without being judged.
Yeah.
You were in like a haven.
True. 100%.
And like it definitely made me feel that it's okay to look at boobs in public.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong.
Instead of saying eyes up here, just like, bro, I'm looking at those boobs.
Yeah, and they welcome it. No, eyes down,
Yeah. Yeah. No, all joking aside, I had a great time at HentaiCon.
I'm glad.
And panels were great.
Yeah.
But honestly, when it was Karen who actually told me that it costed our like $60K to run HentaiCon, I'm just like, dang, if you can run a convention for that price and then it had that much potential,
yeah,
fucking sign me up, bro.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I can go on for days about the potential of lewd cons. And that's a whole business project that myself and Richie are going to be working on. I'd love to get you guys involved because honestly, that's kind of the dream right now. Because what we did with HentaiCon was, I feel like, a one-off thing. Like, I told you in the group chat that what we did with HentaiCon was 100% accomplished because of the people that helped out. Like 100%. It wouldn't have been possible without all of those right ingredients, and they had to happen at that specific time. If it was too early or too late, I don't think it would have gone as well as it did, or at least created the buzz. Because I didn't really care about the number of attendees. I cared more about, like, okay, whoever the fuck shows up, I want to make sure they have a good ass time.
Have a good time.
Yeah. So HentaiCon in itself, and it's again, I apologize, I can rant for days on it because I'm so passionate about it. Like, the amount of behind the scenes shit that went down was like insane, and I would love to bring it up when we bring Richie on.
Yeah.
So
no, it's hopefully we have a future podcast where we can just talk about more like HentaiCon more in depth in terms of like the showrunners.
Yeah, I'd love to, definitely.
Yeah,
that'd be
so
awesome.
much.
Because the thing is that with the information that's being thrown at me right now, it's I'm actually really excited. On top of like the projects that I currently have right now, I actually want to be involved in that side of the
the space.
That culture as well, in the sense that I want to know what it's like to be the event showrunner. And that's why I guess, like, back in the day, like when Anthony was running around, I was like, dang, like, I want to know what it's like to be part of something
Are
big,
you sure?
You
It's not a lot of sleep, I promise you.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like since you are involved in such a big thing, it's, it requires all of you, like, for me, it's like my photography is my self business, so I can take my time with it. You know, it's like for Kim knows what it's like because he is used to organize to doing big things like events at AX, right? And sometimes he loses sleep because he also has to tend to his business. And then people who runs conventions, who has like basically they're part of the hierarchy that makes the big decisions. Like, I want to know what it's like to be on that side. I want to know what it feels like to make big decisions that involves a lot of people and their enjoyment.
I'll tell you this much, and because I know Kim and I have experience running teams. Our HentaiCon team total was 123 people. So having to manage it's scary. I'm not gonna lie, but that's also, and again, Richie can rant on for days about this as well. But that level of uncomfortability is kind of the place that my existence lives, which is like that, like literally.
By it.
Because again, I'd never been in that position before, but I've been in positions like it, and like it reminded me. Like, for instance, when shit went down. Okay, so I'll quick story, and then we'll wrap this fucking podcast up. All right. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Write your heart out.
When there was let me be politically correct about this.
Wait, before you go on, right? Are you allowed to talk about this?
Yeah, hell yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay, cool.
I ain't got shit. My contract was up, so I'm set.
Alright, cool.
And again, regardless either, the way that I tell stories is I want to try to be like as conscious about other people as possible. There was a situation with a guest. It dealt with security, and it was a serious thing, and it happened hella fast. To the point where not everyone on the team got wind of it, but because of the position that I was in and the way that I operate, I was the first to find out about it. And that's how I like it. I hate it when I'm the last to fucking find out, especially if I have a big ass team. I'm like, bitch, that fire could have been put out like an hour ago, dog. Like, just find me, I'll put it out. That way you can do your job. Right? I've said this to you guys before. My position in any fucking event, team, squad, con, whatever's, is the guy you go to when you have a job to do and you don't have time to do shit. You come to fucking me and I'll deal with it. Right? Literally, number one janitor out of every position I've ever been in. Like I'm the janitor. I'm the guy cleans up shit. Right.
Clean up crew.
Yeah, hella, dude. I do the ugliest, worst shit. I do the peasant work, is what I do. Right. So when that shit went down, I was so thankful that I was the first to find out, because I was like, okay, I've dealt with. First things first, I was like, have I dealt with this before? Yes. I've done this, so that therefore I can deal with this. Perfect. The person that told me was like, all right, cool. Thanks for giving me the heads up. I will contact you once I follow this up and figure out the results myself. So not only did I take on the situation, but I also reassured the person that brought it to my attention that I would inform them too. On top of that, I had to inform the rest of my board as well. So Karen, Richie, the owners, etc. Right? So as that went down, I went up to the guest room. I literally fucking ran up to the room. I was in that person's room, dealt with the situation. I brought my team, my security team came there, dealt with it, right? And then when we went down to write the report, like literally it was probably like 15 minutes after, the board finally was like, okay, like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? And so I had to brief them on the situation. But rather than letting my security team brief them, I was like, all right, this motherfucker talked too slow. Here, let me give them the laydown. So I gave them the laydown, as well as came up with the result with the follow-up action. All right, because this went down, this is exactly what we got to do. John, are you able to deal with this and this security situation? Kelly, can you write her report? Draven, what are the solutions that we can offer to help figure out like her safety for like the next like 2-3 days, right? So all that shit was going down while everyone was still jerking off trying to figure out what the hell to do. So
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So when I say that I live, my existence it lives in those moments, like it's 100% true. That is where you know the difference between a con operator and like just your regular volunteer.
Volunteer, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can find me 10 motherfuckers that think like that, yeah, we'll put together a dope ass event.
Good con, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, any more questions before we wrap this up?
Dude,
Nope. I'm excited.
Dude, seriously, like, man, I'm so excited for like just to have Richie and just like pick his brains too, because mind you, Richie was my ex-roommate.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like, but the thing is that I didn't know Richie to be very network heavy. I just thought he likes to party. Yeah. I met him in a party room. He just likes to party. He's like this guy who wears pajama suits. I'm just like, really cool. And then after I left that, you know, it's I didn't realize that his connection ran so deep, and like I never really knew him as that kind of person. I've really known him as just like my roommate, and like he loves to party. That's it.
Yeah.
No, he's my mentor. Like he showed me the ropes of going in. Like I watched him in action. I felt like I was the luckiest kid in the world. For being like an up and coming dude in the con scene. I was like, bro, I get to fucking see Richie in action. Like first fucking hand, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I would love to tell stories about that one of these days when we get him on. So Richie, if you're listening or watching, we'd love to have you on. Please, if you can dedicate 90 minutes with three fools, please, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to get to know the other side of Richie.
Yeah, hell yeah. So hopefully that happens soon. So we'll hit him up after this. All right, cool. For sure. So to wrap everything up, hopefully this is an eventful podcast. I actually feel really good about it. How about you guys?
I love this podcast.
Yeah, it was good. I feel like we didn't know where we were going in the beginning, and then I felt like that kind of wrapped it all up.
Yay.
And even gave us something to look forward to in the following episodes. So anyways, all right, cool. So just to shout everything out, closing us out, if you guys want to follow myself, Marvin, or Kim, all of our details are in the description. If you want to hit us up, mailtime at SojuBomb.tv. Send us packages at the P.O.Box in the description as well. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Anything else? Any last words before we wrap this up?
Keep staying home, guys.
Yeah, please stay your asses home.
Don't protest. Stay hydrated.
Stay home. Stay hydrated.
Wash your hands.
Sanitize yourself.
Yeah,
Look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much to my fellow hosts, Kim, Marvin. Thank you guys so much. This is, as always, an honor. I love picking at your guys' brains. This is great.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, guys. And then to everyone that's watching, thanks so much for supporting. If you're new, thanks so much for giving us a shot. I know it's we're three hella random guys, but I promise you, if you guys saw what I saw in these two, that you'd probably be as excited getting the opportunity to pick these guys' brains as I do. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Appreciate it. See you guys.